Haywell in the bathroom.
Here's the answer. It's Sunday evening. Tomorrow's dead week. We are over school and we waited until the absolute last minute to film. So we have to sit in the bathroom when there's good lighting.
Because it's very dark outside. I've got my juice.
I've got my water.
Let's go.
For this week's episode, we're going to play a game called Finish the Lyrics that I just created in my head. So, I'm going to read off some lyrics and Max is going to finish the line. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, number 1. I went skydiving. I went Rocky Mountain climbing.
I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu.
Unbelievable sights, indescribable feeling.
Ooh.
It's from a movie.
And in last I see the light. Tangled.
A dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a
whole new world with you. Duh.
I swear I scared my niece, my witness.
My niece, my witness. That's shoot. Salt and pepper.
Left a good job in the city, working for the man.
Left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. Aretha Franklin, Proud Mary.
There you go. Now you're getting it. Okay. Imagine there's countries. It isn't hard to do.
Imagine there's no countries. John Lennon. Imagine.
You literally just repeated what I said.
It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too.
There you go.
Do. That's a good song.
Okay.
Okay. So this past week, I reached out to several of my Facebook friends, meaning all of them, and I asked what they think.
You didn't make a post. It was like only so and so can reply to this.
I made a post on Facebook.
Facebook, everybody.
Yes, asking my friends what albums they would recommend that I listen to, and I got a big old list. Very big variety, all the way from Willie Nelson to One Direction to all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was just crazy. So I started listening to the albums this week, and I figured I would share what I'm listening to for the week. My goal was to spend one whole week on an entire album and just kind of focusing on that. I listened to Fine Lines by Harry Styles this week, and it was a very interesting album. I've always thought that Harry Styles has this kind of modern Beatles feel to him, especially with Sign of the Times when his last album came out. But this one had Cherry was one of my favorites. She was one of my favorites. But it was an overall very good album. I think it's very interesting watching him come from One Direction and all the kind of poppy music that they did in their time of boy bands, and then moving into his very own unique style, which is just speaks very highly of how individual he is himself, because he's pretty much an icon right now in fashion and music and living. So I don't know. It was a good album. I really thought I enjoyed it a lot.
So let me tell you about my music.
Go.
So
have you ever heard of Meatball? So confident too. I really thought I had it.
It's Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Please tell me you know who Meatloaf is. Somebody. Wait, can I just perform a Meatloaf concert for you?
Yes.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my all-time favorite. Wasted Youth. Haley Rice, this is for you, okay?
I remember every little thing that
Happened only yesterday.
I was barely 17, and I once killed
The way you're looking at guitar, how they beat.
and I ran up the stairs to my parents' bedroom.
I raised the guitar high above my head. And just as I was about to raise the guitar, crashing down upon the sucker of the bed, my father woke up screaming, "Stop! Wait a minute! Stop it, boy! What do you think you're doing? That's the way to treat an expensive musical instrument."
And that was Meatloaf.
Okay, so we posted on Instagram and Facebook this week asking for a ton of movies that we could watch and review. I am very sad to tell you that we did none of those. We did not watch any of the movies.
We're kind of stuck on Queer Eye right now.
No, well, okay,
So we kind of, that's our go-to at night is to watch Queer Eye.
Okay, so I'm definitely more of a, I wouldn't say I'm more of a TV person, but Max always wants to start something at like 10:30. And it's like, let's watch a movie. And I'm like, how about an episode? So I always am rooting on a TV show. Max always wants to watch a movie. So we're not the best at watching movies, and I don't know really why we ask for movie suggestions. I can say when we're together and in the same place, we'll watch movies.
Yes.
But we did watch a movie a few weeks ago, so we're just going to go ahead and review that. So we're going to review 21, which is a movie I have seen multiple times. Max just recently saw it for the first time. So break it down for us, dear.
Okay, all right. It's time to put on my newscaster voice. Not really, but if I was going to do that, you would know it. So 21 is a story about a kid who goes to MIT. He's working really hard to graduate, and he's actually planning on graduating with a 4.0 at MIT, which is really impressive, to go to Harvard Medical School. In order to get into Harvard Med, he has to forfeit quite a bit of money because it's really expensive, and he is kind of at a loss. He had to, work his way through MIT. He's still working really hard to make sure he gets into Harvard Med. Well, he comes across this opportunity with one of his professors and several of his other classmates about a, what would you describe it as?
What
they do is.
So basically, they're making trips every single weekend to Vegas to go count cards in blackjack.
Yeah.
Which counting cards is not
at the time was not illegal.
But very unethical, frowned upon, not a good idea. So, yeah.
But they had perfected the game of blackjack by counting cards because they're all good at MIT and they're all geniuses. It is based off of a true story, off of a real blackjack team that was not based in MIT, but was based in a lot of Ivy League schools. And it was a true story. There was a lot of fictitious add-ins to make the plot and the storyline, have more depth and everything. But overall, the logic and the strategy behind all of their blackjack tricks and all their everything was super impressive. It clearly took a lot of thought on the writer's point of view and from the writer's perspective. It was incredible. It was one of the favorite words. It is one of the best movies that I've seen. Kevin Spacey, as canceled as he is does a phenomenal job in the movie. The young kid that plays the lead, do you know his name?
Nope.
I don't know his name either. There's not a whole lot of notable people except for Spacey in the cast.
Spacey.
Oh, and Lawrence Fishburne.
No, his friend.
Oh, and Josh Gad, who plays Olaf in the Frozen movies. Besides those three, there's not a whole lot of notable people in the cast. But they do a phenomenal job of portraying geniuses and just all of the playfulness that goes into their counting cards in Vegas. It is a very typical story of, a kid who is really humble and really nice, gets too much money in his hands, gets too much, popularity, and he loses it and goes overboard and loses his friends. It's a very kind of a typical story, but the way that they tell it is very phenomenal and very unique, I would say.
So everybody that's pretty much watching our videos are mutual friends of either of us. So you kind of already know our personalities and know how we have a lot of fun and like to laugh. But for the people that are new to our channel, or at least new to knowing who we are, we pretty much have big hearts and cry all the time and care a lot about certain things. So we thought that every 4th episode, we're going to talk about something serious. So for 3 weeks, we're going to have fun and play games and laugh and joke and all that stuff. And then on the 4th, every 4th episode, we'll talk about something serious, because I have a lot of topics that are very near and dear to my heart, and so does Max. So we want to talk about something serious and deep next week.
No, you told me I would be conducting this meeting when I walked in. Now, exactly how much pot did you smoke?